Spiritual journal with your soul sister, Iona. So I'm going to talk about intentional living for light workers in this video. So welcome to the Soul Legacy TV YouTube podcast. And so if you are aware of journaling with me, I have my Soul Legacy journal at hand to talk about intentional living, and it's day 14 in my world of intentional living and using my spiritual journal. I'm going to share with you some of my spiritual routines and my rituals. If you've watched any of my videos, then you know this is what I do every single day. I go live and I talk about spirituality without and business success without doing busy work, without being broke, and without experiencing burnout. So on the Soul Legacy TV YouTube podcast, we take our soul path of least resistance to get our work out there in the world and serve one to many and earn passive income and leverage soul client income. So today is Financial Freedom Sunday, as we break down our life in every single area. And I bring to you again, I'm going to talk about one of the books that I've been listening to. My favorite book for financial freedom is actually this book. So if you are in my mastermind, Robin, it doesn't say that you're on there. Think and Grow Rich is like my staple book, and this is the Mastermind volume. If you're wondering how come it's so big, for the financial freedom. Hey love, hey beautiful. So Think and Grow Rich and having a definite purpose in life and fulfilling your definiteness of purpose and having that energy exchange of money, I definitely do believe in. But there's a book that I've been listening to again. All of my books I've gone back to listen to so I can share, and I will do book reviews. And today I'm going to be talking about the money and law of attraction, learning to attract wealth, health and happiness by Jerry and Esther Hicks and the teachings of Abraham. So I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to give you a quote of the day in just a second. I'm going to pull every day when I go live as part of my spiritual routine, my spiritual journal, as keepers of the light. And I tell you, I've had to take deep breaths. Robin knows. So Robin is the lead soul guided instructor for the Spiritual Biz YouTubers Network, as I'm the producer of and founder of the Soul Legacy Academy. And so she's the lead soul guided instructor. So I love your channel, Robin, and what you do. And Robin talks about energy healing and chakras and Reiki and Reiki certifications and things like that. So I love it. And so I'm learning more. So what Robin is teaching me, I've got my little book of chakras. I've got my little book of chakra crystals and my clear quartz crystal today. So I'll talk about those as well, because I think that everything, just clearing our energy, again, it's Financial Freedom Sunday. So clearing our energy to be in alignment with our financial freedom goal and earning a passive income and earning leverage income as light workers rather than just earning one-to-one takes a lot of clearing and karma and trauma and ancestral lineage stuff, which Robin does all of that. But I will pull the keepers of the light. I've literally had to take deep breaths when I pulled this card, because Robin and I were talking, like we speak every day, and what we were talking about, which you don't know, Robin doesn't know what this card is. I've just kind of give her the heads up. It is so deeply powerful. You know, as you start to live more intentionally, let me know if you have been following me and you are interested in intentional living and setting your intentions, and you believe in using the law of attraction. I say the law of vibration because that's underneath that. I have my spiritual vision board challenge, which I'll leave in the cards and down in the descriptions for you to really dive into this teaching. It'll make more sense. But this has just been so powerful. Everything starts to fill in when you set your intentions, you set this vision, and then all of a sudden you notice things just line up. There's not as much effort as you think. So Robin says, I can't wait to see which card it is. It's big. And I am saying that. Robin says, thank you. And hey, everyone. We did just have someone join us live, and then it says no one. So if you're watching, comment and say hi. If you're new, watching on the replay, I would love to know who you are, where you are in the world, because I know that these videos, these daily vlogs about my spiritual journal are getting views. So come and journal with me. This is my what I call my Soul Legacy Journal. And I talk about 365 days of your spiritual awakening story. This is for you and it's for me. And we're going to have that awakening around our finances today, I am sure. And so I say it's a co-created soul path to spiritual alchemy for light workers. So if you believe in that transmuting and transcending all of our core wounds and going through the dark night of the soul and the spiritual awakening story and like using the tools for your spiritual ascension and then actually turning around and giving back what you've actually learned, then this is the right channel for you. So let's dive in to the quote of the day. I do share some of my spiritual routines and my spiritual practices. I do share the journal. I've got lots that I do share, and I'll leave links and I'll let you know about my masterclass at the end. So before I dive into the financial freedom and how it connects with intentional living, I just want to share this quote. I don't have to do this. So this quote, again, I've got this from my Momentum app. If you are new to me, I have a Mac, an app on my Mac, and every day when I go into my office, when I do my work, it asks me, what are you focused on today? So that's super important. Living intentionally, you want to have one main focus for the day. And what you'll realize is so many things branch off that one thing. And when we're talking about financial freedom, we want to be laser focused. I want to say I do focus on the one thing, but sometimes when you focus on one thing, you don't realize that it needs many other steps in between. So that financial freedom, that passive income, that leveraged income, I'm someone who leverages the heck out of everything I do. But anyway, it says the one main focus. I just want to give that as a tip. Focus on one thing and just go for it and keep going until you find it. But this quote was on my Momentum app today. So it says, don't regret anything you do because in the end, it makes you who you are. That's a quote by Unknown. So I don't know who said it. I don't know how it got on the app, but that is the quote for today. Don't regret anything you do because in the end, it makes you who you are. Now, I'm someone, Robin says, love that journal notebook. I love my Soul Legacy journal. Masterclass is lit. It's on. I have the live masterclass on the last Monday of the month, live at 3 p.m. UK time. But it is actually the channel trailer of the Soul Legacy TV. So if you have not been to the Soul Legacy TV, then you can go to YouTube. If you're listening to this elsewhere, if you're listening to it in the Soul Legacy Academy, you can click on this video and it will take you to the Soul Legacy TV YouTube channel. And it's on the homepage, the replay of the masterclass that Robin's saying, but I do it live. So if you want questions and you want bonuses, they're in the Soul Legacy Academy. All the links are there. If you're savvy enough, you'll click on the about, you'll click on the description. If it sounds like I totally want to have live an intentional life and not just for financial freedom, Robin says no regrets. No, definitely not. Yeah. So if you want to know more about the financial freedom, then the masterclass is there for you. But I don't have regrets. And so people around me have said that I've taught them not to have regrets, like you've taught me that. Because I think if you're going to when you live intentionally, then you're intentionally doing the actions. Even when it doesn't work out the way that you think, it's like, how can you regret it if you are living intentionally? So if you're someone that's like, oh man, why did I do that? Oh, this is like not cool. Then just, take a step back and pause and say, were you aware? Like sometimes things are out of our awareness. Did you do the best that you could in that moment? And so in the end, it makes you who you are. So I'm someone who has been bankrupt, who has been homeless, who has been all the things. So each day when I talk about intentional living and I talk about my Soul Legacy journal and journaling, which Robin, you know this, we have a soul income game, which I'm going to share with you. You spend vibrational money to be in alignment with your vision board and your vision for financial freedom. So I've spent my vibrational money. So Robin, you lost your vibrational money last week. So hopefully you've spent it this time. Hey Karen, hey love. You pop in again at the time we're talking about the soul income game. So I'll talk about that in a second. So the Soul Legacy Journal, it gives you vibrational money, is what I want to say. So, oh, I lost my train of thought. Oh, the rating. So when we talk about financial freedom, it's not just financial freedom for the sake of it. You know, as light workers, and we want to do our work in the world, we want to, you know, have our spiritual business and really make a difference in the world, right? It's not just, oh, well, we want passive income, we want leveraged income, we want to, well, I want to have that energy exchange for being in service and serving one to many, right? So when we talk about, well, I talk about intentional living every single day. I come live on the SoulLegacyTV. I talk about the spiritual routines and rituals that make up my entire life. So on a Monday, which is tomorrow, I'll talk about contribution freedom, how you can contribute into the world. And then Sunday is financial freedom. So how you can have that fair energy exchange without having those money blocks or funky energy, without beating yourself up, and actually say, hey, this is the value that I'm giving intentionally, that you would pay. So if you wouldn't pay you, then you need to stop doing whatever that is and find something that you know that you would pay, or that you've paid other people for. I've paid a lot out to get to where I am. So I'm absolutely okay with packaging up my services and saying, hey, this is it. And actually offering 10 times the value and some of anything that I ever want to charge. So I talk about contribution freedom on a Monday, health freedom on a Tuesday while you're doing your work in the world, because it's not just go out and contribute, serve everybody, serve everyone, which I do believe in that, but doing it in a leveraged way. And it's not just about the money. We want to have that life. Without our health, we're kind of screwed. So we want to have our health freedom and the frequency of that, emotional freedom, which is underlying all of the freedoms, all of the days, all of the intentional living. I'll come to your comments in a second. Oh, you guys are saying hi to each other. Awesome. Love it. It's only 4:15 here. I'm shopping tonight. Cool. So if you don't shop, you're going to lose it. So then I talk about environmental freedom, which is a big one for me. And part of me starting on YouTube was actually not only to leverage my time, money, and energy, but to actually have that freedom to be able to travel while I teach and to be able to just put up a video wherever I am. So I'm here in my living room in the UK, but I do visualize on my vision board that I will be traveling while I'm teaching. So I really wanted to have that freedom financially. It's good to have a financial freedom goal and know what it is that you want to spend that money on. Rather that's why we do the soul income game, and I'll share that at the end. And then we talk about, so environment's huge for me. Where I work, what I do, who I do it with, where I travel to, all of that. I've traveled quite a bit over the years, so that's really important to me. I love seeing beautiful places and staying in nice places. I've stayed in some dives as well, but I still have traveled. And then we talk about relationship freedom for intentional living, date nights, just experiences that you want to have with all of your family. You need that financial freedom for that, and to show our offspring and our grandchildren and, you know, people around us that it's okay to receive that money, because oftentimes the money blocks have been passed down intentionally or unintentionally, right? And so we take all of that on, and if we don't stop that cycle here and those patterns, we're passing it on. And I'm just not willing to do that. I'm not willing to pass that on. I've passed some stuff on to my daughter. She's nearly 19. She literally will be 19 in less than a week. And then I've got my granddaughter and my grandson. So it's our duty to get a handle on and intentionally release some stuff. And if not, we are part of that lineage that passes that down. That's why I'm here. And so spiritual freedom is on Saturday, and again, financial freedom is on Sunday. So whatever rituals, spiritual rituals and routines that I can share with you, hopefully they'll inspire you, and you do share your own, what you do to be in alignment, especially with financial freedom, especially as a light worker, and especially as building a spiritual business. It's not a hobby business. It actually, the money and the time and the energy investment that you've put in so far, it needs to start paying you back at some point, whether it's today, whether it's tomorrow, whether it's in a year, whatever you feel comfortable with, setting that intention of actually just receiving that money. So that's why we play the soul income game. Robin says, agree, don't want to pass along dense, heavy energy. Yeah. So for on the Soul Legacy TV, that is what we commit to. We commit to taking our soul path of least resistance and working one to many, serving one to many, I say, right, and earning that passive income and that leverage income, so that we don't take all of the time away from our family, excuse me, and we can actually show them, hey, there's a new way, rather than just going out there and going getting a 9-to-5 job, which we're conditioned to do. We're showing them a different way. So I really want to go to the card, actually, because I don't want you to miss it. So do stay to the end, because the card is huge. What will I do now? So I'm going to give my rating for financial freedom. So if you're not familiar with the rating, I talk about journaling in your spiritual journal, but and rating how you feel, your vibrational, raising your vibrational frequency, how you feel about money, and if you're in soul funk, and if you're in soul flow, and what you're doing today and over the next week until we come back to Financial Freedom Sunday. What are you going to do in order to be in alignment? What actions, what internal work are you going to do to be in alignment with receiving the financial freedom goal that you have on your spiritual vision board? And if you don't have anything on your spiritual vision board and you've not done it, then I invite you to actually go ahead and do that. So the rating that we have each day, my rating is a 10 today. So we rate ourselves between a 1 and an 11. How we don't rate ourselves a 0, like on the wheel of life, they go from 1 to 10. And I just wanted to move beyond the just focusing on the physical, but how you feel in your body and how aligned you feel with your values. And so, or whether you're in soul funk or in soul flow. So mine is a 10. Now, for every area of my life, I'm living intentionally, and I'm rating my flow, so to speak, every single day, Monday all the way to Sunday. And so when we get to Sunday, we reflect back on the week. So hopefully you've been doing that. And if you haven't, you'll start from today and Monday, but you'll start from Monday, on Contribution Freedom Monday, and you'll rate your 1 to 11. How connected are you with your higher self? How are you seeing your life through the lens of your soul? I like to say, meaning that are you being pushed and pulled by life, or are you being intentional? Are you setting those intentions and following through on them? Are you looking at your vision board? Oh gosh, I didn't even look at my vision board today. I talk about your vision, your values, and your vibration every single day, looking at your vision board, whether it's a quote board, whether it's on your phone, whether it's on your screen, whether your desktop, laptop, whether you've done the video montage with me or not. I play mine and it's got a little bit of music. It's 36 seconds. I play it again sometimes, but looking at your vision board and rating that. So on Contribution Freedom Monday, mine was 11. Health Freedom was 10. I won't go into why, but that's what they were. Emotional Freedom was 11. Environmental Freedom was 11. Relationship Freedom was 11. Spiritual Freedom was 11. And today, Financial Freedom Sunday is a 10. And the reason for me was why it's a 10 is because the actions that I took personally, not letting life push and pull me, that my VIP day that I planned out isn't happening tomorrow. I've pushed it out. Karen, I've pushed it out not till the 10th, but to the 17th. Oh no, my battery. Till the 17th. I'm going to have to plug my phone in. Hang on, stay there. I've done that until the 17th of January because, I apologise, this is what you do when you go live. Because I did plug it in there. Because the holidays, I hadn't planned to celebrate the holidays, and I kind of didn't really factor in everybody else celebrating the holidays, if I'm honest. So that for me didn't feel as aligned as my action. So that was a 10. So what we do then is, so Robin says, so Robin's done the code for intentional living as we do this, our spiritual routines and our rituals. I call it the intentional living codes. So each day that's your code, that's your frequency of where you're vibing at. And if you don't get this, then watch my spiritual vision board challenge. I explain it really in depth. I mean, it's the most in-depth vision board tutorial that you'll ever go through. So that the FFS stands for Financial Freedom Sundays, and then we do equals 11. So I'm so happy that yours is 11. It's higher than mine today, and I love that. I love the vibration of that. Although I've just spent my vibrational money voucher, when I questioned like what is it today for me, it came up as 10. Normally I'm really high vibing, but it's okay to have contrast, and it's okay to dip in contrast because your vibration goes up again. Sometimes when we like want to vibe high all of the time and don't allow for the contrast, it's not that when might not be looking at the deeper reflection, because we always want to just tune into intuitively, not what we think it's going to be, but what we intuitively feel. Karen says, well, I told you to let me know when you settle the date. The 17th works for me. Yay, awesome, perfect. Yeah, perfect. Well, so Robin and I were talking today, and Robin's got her collective energy clearing call on it. Robin, is it the first Tuesday of the month then? So I will be on that. And we were saying, oh my gosh, to be so mindful of the time. It's and I said, oh my God, I'm glad it's not tomorrow now. So I was like, actually, let me push it and let me really get ready for it and really serve and get some more people on there, because I want it to be a group VIP day. It's not a one-on-one or 1 to 2. I want some more people on there, and I'm setting the energy for that. So that's why I did that. So thank you, Robin, for sharing your rating. And hang on. By then, you'll have your new space and computer set up. Perfect then. That works. Oh, great. And we had somebody else booked on as well. And she had a conflict on that day. So that's perfect. It always works out beautifully. So Robin says, yes, it's the first Tuesday of the month at 4 p.m. Eastern, which is 9 p.m. UK time. And Karen, you're an hour difference to me, right? So that's the collective energy clearing call. Karen, if you're not booked on that, I don't know if you are, you're welcome to join us. So Robin Knott of Energy Healing TV has a collective energy clearing call, and it does what it says in the tin. It's just getting together as light workers, as empaths, as highly sensitive people, and just acknowledging where our energy is and just clearing that, just being as high vibrational as we can in that moment. I haven't been on one of the Robin's calls as yet, so that will be my first one, and I intend to be on all of them. So I'm saying that intention. All right. So we've done the quote. I'm going to pull the card in a second. I want to talk about the teachings of Abraham. So have you ever, do you know what I want to do? I want to grab a physical book when I talk about my books. Some books I'm looking, because I have Ask and It Is Given, which is like a bit battered, but they've got more books, and I didn't realize at first. So I talk about the astonishing power of emotions that they've got. They've got a few books, but this one is called Money and the Law of Attraction, which is fitting for Financial Freedom Sunday, right? Learning to attract wealth, health, and happiness. And so the part that I listened to today, again, I've gone back with all of my books and just listening. And I couldn't remember whether I just talked about Think and Grow Rich last week or I talked about this as well. But this is my book of choice that I will come to every single Sunday and listen to a snippet of it and share it with you. So basically the message that I got today, listening to the opening credits and listening to part 1, was, does life seem unfair? And so they say that, sometimes you might be questioning, and let me know that, hang on. Karen says, hour ahead of you, it's 10:30. Thank you for joining me. Robin says, yay, I'm excited you'll be on. You'll be able to join us now, Iona. Yeah, I know, because I couldn't get on the calls, Robin's calls. The reason why it's my first call is because Robin used to have calls at like my 12 p.m. and I'm like, dude, I'm great, but I'm not that great. I'm not going to get up at 12. I'm not going to stay up or get up at 12. I think it's 12 or 1. It might have even been 1 in the morning. I'm like, can you please change the time of your call for me? And Robin did. So thank you, love. I'm so excited. So yeah, they were saying about, does life seem unfair? Meaning, like, when you think about earning money or receiving money, that, you know, has it been a struggle? Like, some people seem to work super hard for the money. Some people just seem to struggle. Some people seem to get quote unquote rich. Some people like seem to have it all. And then some of us are just like, huh? I've been doing the thing, and you're thinking you're doing the thing, but sometimes I love it. You too. Ah, perfect. So one for you, two for you. Exactly. We're not doing that. So it's at 10 p.m. UK time, 9 p.m. UK time. So it's 10 p.m. for you. Yeah. So there's some of us that think, you know, we're doing the things, all of the things, the actions, or not actually, in all honesty. Sometimes we're not doing the most income generating things, as I talk about on the Soul Legacy TV YouTube podcast, is that this is about spirituality and business success without doing the busy work, without being broke, and without experiencing burnout. So when we're thinking of them earning the money, are you doing busy work, like really pretending and not doing the soul income generating things? Are you burning yourself out? Like, because we get a choice in that. We get a choice. If we co-create our life, we get a choice whether to be broke and stay broke. We get a choice whether to burn ourselves out, and we get a choice to do the busy work. And you can see I like the bees. I like things to rhyme, and I like things to like flow, so they're memorable. As light workers, we're here to do our work in the world. And I talked about, I think it was in the Spiritual Vision Board Challenge about light worker syndrome. And if you've never heard of that, look up a site, a blog is by Steve Pavlina. .com, and he talks about light worker syndrome, meaning that as light workers, oftentimes we don't feel that balance. We don't feel in alignment with having that balance of doing our light work in the world and receiving the money. And that's why I'm here to actually, you know, help clear that energy. And that's why Robin's here to help clear that energy as well. I'm not sure why they weirdly come on your lives. Weird. Anyway, so that's what I want to say about the book. So I will listen to some more of it. Let me know if you've heard of it. The Money and the Law of Attraction by The Teachings of Abraham by Jerry and Esther Hicks. So learning to attract wealth, health, and happiness. So it's not just money and the law of attraction. It's not just money for the sake of money. You're talking about wealth, health, and happiness. And sometimes you might think, well, money's not going to make me happy, but not having money doesn't make you happy either. It makes you stressed out, worried, doubtful, fearful, all of the things. So when we tell our story, our spiritual awakening story, because I have my Soul Legacy journal, if I was journaling back then in there, I was bankrupt and I was homeless. That's having no money, not having the money to meet those needs. That is not fun. So when we're telling ourselves, and it was in that moment, I was like, I'm okay with having both. When we're telling ourselves, I don't need the money, I'm not doing it for the money, I'm scared of having the money, nobody will pay me, it's like we have got to figure that stuff out. We've just got to figure it out. I'll be right back. I understand what that is now. I didn't know what that was before. No worries. So that's the book. Okay, what else? Let me talk about real quick. So Robin I hope she'll let me know when she's back so I can pull the card. Chakras, little book of chakras. So today in Robin's world and my world now, it's crown chakra. So crown chakra is on a Sunday. So Robin has a unblock your chakras 7-day challenge. So she talks about chakra healing, and so it's crown chakra, which is violet and blue, obviously, in your crown. The thought, transcendence, and the motto is I know. So I'll read a little bit about it. They've got an overview in this book. It's the little book of chakras that I've recently bought. So that is part of my spiritual routine, just noting if my chakras are clear and aligned. And thanks to Robin, she's teaching me a lot. So it says we've reached the final chakra, the crown chakra. So all week I've talked about all of the chakras. Our journey, well, Robin talks about them, is to enlightenment, is nearly complete. Located on the very top of the head, the crown chakra connects us to the divine. The root chakra brought us closer to the earth, but the crown chakra sets free the limitless possibilities that the world has to offer. When it's balanced, our minds are open and we are guided by the force greater than ourselves. So we see past limiting beliefs, especially around money, right? Well, the root chakra is money, and beliefs and material desires. Out of balance, we feel lost without a sense of purpose. It may take a person many years to open the crown chakra, but it's worth the journey. So Robin talks about when the what symptoms you have when the chakra's not balanced, and she does all the energy. She's got a chakra energy assessment call. So if you feel anything, so it's got mental and physical aspects of it. Again, that's a little book of chakras. But if you are interested more, Robin will talk about that on her challenge. And so for the chakras, this is a crystal. It's the clear quartz. I got it from a little, I don't have the little pouch. I got a beginner's. Do you work with your crystals as part of your spiritual routine and setting that intention to raise your vibration? If this is new for me to bring this into the Soul Legacy Journal, but I wanted to not ignore the spiritual practices. I wanted to have firmer foundations for my spiritual practices and have it at a time where I can just share it. And this is how I share the content on the Soul Legacy TV. This is how we share the content in the Soul Legacy Journal, so we can all come together in whatever teachings that you're watching from me and note them down in your journal. So this is the clear quartz. And so it says, this is obviously for the crown chakra, best for clarity, focus and visualization. So we're going to talk about the soul income game and what I spent my money on, but that clarity and focus and visualization, especially on the financial freedom, it's being clear on why you want the finances. And like no light worker should say, I don't want the money, because you can tithe money, you can serve other people with the money. It's not about the money. However, struggling and not allowing that flow and that giving and receiving. So when you want to make a difference in the world, if you're a light worker who wants to make a difference in the world, then why would you rob somebody of giving the value exchange? Because I don't want everything for free. Some people do, but other people don't want everything for free. We feel like we're using people if we just take everything for free. So it's a service, it's a business. So I'm talking about a spiritual business. So if you're not in alignment with building a spiritual business, then it might be like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about finances? But business, when you can't run a business on nothing, not forever, it's not sustainable anyway, and not a business that has you travel around the world and do different things. So Karen says, I use my crystals intuitively and always have. I know the names of many, and many I've forgotten the names of. Ah, cool. Yeah, so Robin uses her crystals intuitively. I'm learning and connecting. I had a little start, it's on my table actually, I can't reach it. A little starter pack. And I'm like, with Robin's challenge, I'm like, okay, what can I bring in intentionally? And like you said, sometimes you forget them, sometimes you use them. And I wanted to have that clear energy and continuous. And Robin says about the black obsidian and using that in conjunction with the crystals, but definitely using them intuitively, definitely feeling your way, definitely whether it's daily, whether it's weekly, whether it's whenever, and clearing them and cleansing them. As part of my Soul Legacy Journal, I'm very intentional, I'm very organized. And if I don't put a system and a framework around stuff, I drop off. So that was me saying to myself, okay, well, you're going to learn these to incorporate these spiritual routines. And it's really working. Wait until I pull you the card that I pulled today. It's just absolutely incredible. So Karen says, yesterday I felt that I needed my turquoise, so I've been wearing that. Oh, I love it. You've got a bracelet. Back, Robin's back. Definitely need to figure it out. What do you need to figure out, love? I don't know what I say half the time. So, so this quartz crystal, let me see. So if you know about the crystals, so this one, let me see. The transparent nature of the stone reflects clarity of thought, which it offers. It is useful in expanding consciousness and facilitating a clear, open communication. I love that. Though it's particularly aligned with the crown chakra, it is known to resonate on some level with all chakras. I love that. So I'm not going to go into all of that because that's Robin's area of expertise. But yeah, I think it's really, really super helpful to have that awareness and their energy when your energy is feeling funky, or you're and I hadn't done the my spiritual routine before giving that rating, so it's really helpful. So Robin, we're at the point, I believe, let me see, card, crystal, no, quote, crystal, the soul income game. I'm going to do the soul income game and then I'm going to do the card. So Robin says, figure out the money blocks. And so what was the quote in the week where what we focus on expands, right? We know that. Where energy goes, when attention goes, energy flows, whatever. So rather than the working through the money blocks, which is delving into it, then what we'll do as we are on the Soul Legacy TV and we're coming back, we're setting the intention just to have the financial freedom. So it's like over here, I've got to work with my money blocks. Oh gosh, my money blocks. Here I'm working with financial freedom, and how can I have that exchange? So yeah, we use our tools and we're aware of our blocks. But if we focus on diving into our blocks, we kind of get more of the same, and it doesn't really, in my opinion, it doesn't really release it. It just spirals. So say that fear and that doubt, like this with Abraham Hicks saying, pick a better feeling thought. So you're raising your vibration, even if it's not freedom and love and empowerment and joy, it's that better feeling thought. And so for me, you've got to be in alignment. And for me, when you serve and you see the value that you're offering in your spiritual business, you can't help but to be so grateful and appreciative of that money that you're receiving because you've served. And I like to say now that if I see money coming in, I'm blessed. You bless the money that's going in, you bless the money that's going out all of the time. And then when you see money coming into your business and it's angel numbers, that's what I teach to do, because that's me being in alignment with it. The more you see, the more you know you've served. If you don't see any, you are guilty of not serving. That's how I see it, because people will take everything for free if you let them. And some people will take everything for free if you let them. And some people genuinely want to have that fair energy exchange. And if you are blocking it, then you're not allowed. It's like not allowing somebody to give you a compliment, or not allowing somebody to love you and saying no, no. And why? It's energy. We know that we vibrate and we have energy. So it's just weird. Hang on. Let me see. Karen says, it's nice you can pause the live and pick up where you left off. Did I pause my live? I had a phone call, didn't realize I wasn't in live right time anyway. Okay, cool. LOL. Oh, okay. Be right back. Another call. Are you kidding? Robin, not. That is funny. So you're talking to Robin. So before I do the card, because I want Robin to hear this, I'll talk about the soul income game. So I've set the intention to help us heal our money blocks and help us to really launch, lead, and leave our soul legacy, and document the process of that transition of what is said in our mind. Yesterday, I talked a lot about fear and what is on our mind and the voice in our head. And you might have a voice in your head about money, and probably do. But journal it. Journal what is, how you feel. Journal, like, the flow that you felt around money before, and journal where you felt that block and that soul funk, and learn to turn it around, and then decide what actions that you are going to take over this next week. So part of that is the soul legacy journal, and doing that. I believe it's a spiritual routine and a ritual that you can incorporate. And so this journal gives you £1,000, dollars, or euros every single day. And it says nobody's on with me, so stick with me, right? Because I've got my card. Pounds, dollars, or euros every single day, and you spend it on whatever is in alignment with your vision board. So say we've created a spiritual vision board, and again, if you haven't, it's in the cards and in the description. 7 days of creating a spiritual vision board. I've got to still record some actually, but the Contribution Freedom Monday will give you an idea. And you see what experiences you want to have, because I'm all about intentional living and having those experiences, but not just for yourself, for your family, your loved ones, you and your offspring. So you can spend this money, this vibrational money, making memories, right? And so I talk about the Rich House, Poor House. If you've ever seen it, it's a program in the UK where the people in the bottom 10% in the UK swap houses with the people in the top 10%, and they get to experience each other's lives. They get to experience where they shop, and it's definitely different from where you shop in the bottom 10% to where you shop in the top 10%. What clothes you wear, what you put on, the furniture that you have around you, the food that you have in your fridge, the bills that you pay, the kind of bills that you are paying, the people that you're around, the experiences that you have, the experiences that your children have. All of those things are different, not right or wrong, whatever, but it's different. And so they get to imagine what and experience what each other's lives are like. The Rich House tend to, in my opinion, and from what I've seen, the many programs that I've watched, tend to have the reason for doing it. They ask them is to have their children be humble about money and grateful, express that gratitude. And for the Poor House experience and the rich, just to see how the other half live, and they're usually blown away about the space that they have, their environment, not being overlooked, not being crammed up in the environment, like in the community, the facilities in the community, all of the, and they're not normally that far away. They're only like several miles away, experiencing a completely different life, giving birth to children and having them experience a completely different life. And it's not that money makes you happy. That's the point of the program. Just money make you happy. And they all unequivocally say no. However, the experiences and the quality of life, there's with the Rich House, when they go shopping in the supermarket, they don't want to pick up the things that are on this shopping budget, because they're like, damn, I've never, and they're still worrying. They've got worry and fear in their body. That's what it does to you. So with the Soul Income game, you're invited to, experience the version of you that does have that financial freedom. That's why I call it Banking 50K in 50 days. Are you back again? Yay! Back. So that's what we do with the vibrational money. You get to see the version of you that you would be with the money. Because the only reason why we don't want to have the money is because we don't want to be greedy. We don't want to be like rich people are greedy. Whatever those stories are in your head, rich people are greedy, evil. I can't even think of stories because I don't connect with them now. I used to. Money is the root of all evil, and I don't know like lots of money stories anymore. I'm like struggling, but let me know, journal, what your money stories are. That spiritual awakening and that soul path, that co-created soul path of least resistance to spiritual alchemy. That is that spiritual alchemy. If you were a version of you who's receiving the money and you're serving your soul clients, do you think that you'd feel good? Like, do you feel like if you had that life where if you don't have the money, but you want changes, and you put certain things on your vision board that require money, why put them on your vision board if you're not willing to? That's like just having a dream that's always going to be out of reach. Doesn't make sense. It's either be happy and have no money and just don't ever desire it, or desire it and figure out a way to have it and be in alignment with it. It's like saying to our kids, don't bother dreaming. Don't, like, that money, you can't have money. You know, you're not worthy of money. Don't ask for money. Don't ask for that experience. Don't want to go on holiday. Don't want to have nice things at the shop. Don't want to have birthday presents and Christmas presents. No, like, you're not worthy of that. Can you imagine actually saying that to your children or your grandchildren or any of your friends or any, but we say it to ourselves? That's insane. So look at the stories, journal in your spiritual journal, what stories you're saying to yourself, and imagine yourself, like literally imagine yourself swapping from the house or the home that you have now, if you want to move, or the upgraded version of your environment, and what that would be like. So they do it for a week at a time. It's just beautiful. They come out completely different people, or completely different version, that awareness. So we have that £1,000, dollars, or euros. So I spent mine today on a condo in Canada. Like, I want to own a barn conversion. And what I realized from doing this whole spiritual journal process is that's further away than what I originally thought, because I talk about it and I've talked, it's a calling. I will have that, but I want to travel and I want to see Canada, because I don't know which part of Canada that I actually want to be in, because I've never even been there, but something is calling me. Like, something called me to the place that I am now, where I'm living, and I've been here 12 years, I think it's 12 years this year. And I just set the intention, and I met a friend years on when I'd set that intention. They were in my life, and then I saw them like a few years later, and they said, oh, where you living? And I go, oh my gosh, I'm living in that place. So I've got Canada on myself. So I just spent like over £4,000 on this condo with these beautiful views and these dolphin statues, and it had a waterfall, but I love waterfall, not a waterfall, a fountain with dolphins and these beautiful views. And then I'm imagining myself it was on Airbnb, taking photos of that place being there. Do you know what I mean? The place was just amazing. I showed it to Robin. But just visualize yourself to spending that money. It's a gift. I'm giving you £1,000, dollars, or euros. So the idea is not to save it, and it's not to spend it on bills. So every single day, the Soul Legacy Journal. So if you have something come up between now and next Sunday, again, it's going to reset every day, £1,000, dollars, or euros. But by the end of the week, the Sunday, you've got to spend it. So if you haven't played this game all week, then, you know, do your 1,000 today, and then you'll get another 1,000. Don't cheat and just get 7,000 for today. We tithe 10% every single day. Feel that feeling of who you'll become and the version of you by tithing 10%. I think that's just amazing. And if you don't want to tithe 10% now, and it's vibrational money, you're never going to tithe 10% when you actually have the money. Just make yourself do it. Just make yourself have that experience. Hold yourself accountable. Excuse me. Robin says, wow, that has just hit. I was told not to dream. It made me cry. So years ago, when I left my ex-husband, and I left the house, and I picked up my kids, and I just went, and I actually went to my son's father's house, 200 miles away. And I got on the phone to a coach, Rich Litvin, actually, the Ever Coach guy that I talk about. And I had a session with him, and it was called Confidence Guy back then. And he said, you know, what do you want? And I was like, what do you mean? And he goes, well, what do you want to experience? And I was just like, I had my hand on my heart. He had me put my hand on my heart and asked for what I want. Tears rolled down my face. I was like, and I actually remember saying it, but it wasn't my voice as such. It was like in a childlike voice, in a girly childlike voice. And you know, I'm not really super girly. And I'm like, I can ask for what I want. Like, I can ask. And he's like, yeah. I was like, I was always told I want never gets. And I was like, oh my God, more tears. And I told my children that, I shared it with my kids, right? And why would you do that I think Donna was coming up for 13 and Mia was coming up for her 6th birthday. There's 7 years between them, I think so. And they used it. They were like, Mum, you said, because I was like, never will my children experience that. So as they got older, when I'd say something, when they'd ask me for something, I'd say, we'll see, right? So maybe that was where it stemmed from. But if you'd asked my daughter Mia, like, how it was when they were little, I was out of my awareness. But when they'd ask me for something, and then I would say, we'll see. I didn't know that they would be in another room going, yes, yes. And I'm like, why would you do, years after doing this, friends of theirs would do it. They'd push each other forward and come and ask me for whatever it was, like, and they'd celebrate. And I didn't know. And they said, they realized my pattern. I would say, we'll see, rather than no, because I got a no all the time. So I'd say, we'll see. And with the we'll see, they knew that that would turn into a yes. I'm like, you little monkeys. Robin says, be realistic, as if we can't change our reality. Yeah, exactly. Canada. Yeah, it was beautiful. Hang on, I try not to kick you out. Karen says, that's how I feel about the States. I've been pulled there as long as I can remember. Have you? Retreat. That's what we need. We need a retreat. That's beautiful. I've got family in the States. Robin says, that's huge, isn't it? When we're taught that, it's crazy to me now. Yeah, we are taught. And so if we don't take a stand in terms of not taking a stand, fighting against, but if we don't pay attention to turning it and take a stand for turning it around, then we are responsible for passing that on, because we know better. And when we know better, we do better. The people around us that brought us up, raised us, might not have known better, and they probably didn't know better. Otherwise, they'd do better. But now we know better. We can't not do better. You know, we can't not do better. So I'm going to read this, and I'll probably start crying, but I'll try not to. All right. So every day we go with, as my part of my spiritual journal, Keepers of the Light by Carl Gray. And I've been connected with these cards. It's a few years since I bought these cards. And I share on my masterclass about the card that reminds me of my son. So it's kind of like a deck that sits there, and I have this card out, the Divine Director. And that's the only card that I've really connected to over the years. And it's been about 3 years, maybe 4 years. And doing the spiritual journal, and it's time, like bringing this into physical form, it feels like time. So every day I've been sharing, so I'm like bracing myself. So this is the card that I pulled today. So I just shuffle them, as you do, because I'm not like a master card reader or what have you. I don't do all that. I'm just doing it for me, but I'm sharing it with you because I believe it's for you as well. And as light workers, and just setting this intention with the Soul Legacy TV. And it's been 14 days. This is day 14 of me doing this. So bear in mind, Robin and I speak every day. And we had a conversation, which I'll tell you as I read this. The conversation and the words that we spoke about today are on this card. And I literally shuffled and say, you know, which keeper of the light needs to come forward to give us this message today. And this is what I've got. So thank you, Lady Venus. Right, downloads and understanding. That's what the card represents. Truth is being revealed. Deep insights are coming from heaven and the astral realm. So Robin will, Lord, I should know it's this one, Lady Venus. Can you see it? I'm rubbish at holding up the thing. You got it? So Lady Venus. So Robin and I were talking about the astral realm and the earthly plane and dreams and different things. And I'm getting signs and synchronicities and stuff around me. And if you're spiritual, you kind of know. And I'm like, oh, holy moly. Like, I keep saying that sounds and all the things and the experiences that I've had, like at the end of my dreams in the mornings and things like that. And I'm like, I'm not like getting this. So, yeah. Oh, okay. You got it? Cool. Oh, wow. Yes. This deck as well. Have you got it? Have you got that deck? So, yeah, that's just on the beginning. Like, that's just in there. Literally, Robin has said that if we had the recorded conversation, you'd be, well, we have actually got a recorded conversation because we voice note. But anyway, the about is Lady Venus is the twin flame of Sanat, I believe, Cumra, and is said to, don't worry about the spellings, or the pronunciation, is said to reside on the astral realm surrounding the planet Venus. The light Venus brings, the light beings of Venus, known as Venetians, are now coming to light workers on the earth to help them with their connections and understanding and capacity to share divine love. And that's what we were talking about. I was like, I'm happy to have the help in the way that I understand that sign and what is this anyway. And I said to Robin that, you know, this is new for me to share so publicly and openly anyway. But understanding it and processing it while I'm sharing. And I was like, I'm getting a lot in. And I sat and I said, oh my God, I've been calling this in. Like I'm sitting here calling it in every single day. It's huge. Oh, you've got that deck as well. Astral realm, connections and understanding. Yeah, that's what you were. So Robin is more versed in this, and you guys are probably. I'm the one. I'm the light worker that is being taught or called forth to do the business and the marketing with a sense of knowing and divine timing and connection and synchronicities and just soul flow and all the things. I've not been on the path where I'm doing the mediumship, I'm doing the this, I'm doing that. I haven't done that. I just have a sense of deep knowing and trusting, and I don't use tools. Do you know what I mean? I've not used tools. So when people are like, I've gathered my tools and I've got lots of tools around me, I'm like, I just fast track to that sense of knowing. And, you know, I don't sit there for hours a day meditating. I have that connection in such a deep way that it just flows to me naturally. And so Robin has been explaining a lot of the things, like people go on that route to have this connection. And yeah, I've just been calling it in. I'm like, okay, oh, I get it now. You know, when you just don't realize. Got all Kyle's decks unless the newest. Yeah, I haven't got. I think he's got a warrior one. I bought his new book though. So Lady Venus is a wonderful keeper of the light to call on when you are trying to forge connection with heavens or finding it difficult to understand the signs and symbols and guidance that are being sent to you physically or through meditation. So I got a big fat sign today. Like I got a sign to the point where my sign was on video and I was recording and sending it to Robin, sending something else to Robin. And I was like, what? And Robin said, oh my gosh. So like, it's a beautiful process. But for me, it's quite like, damn, at the same time. So I love having my spiritual routines and I love having that. But today I was sat in like a little bit of confusion and a little bit of fear as well. I'm like, what the heck? So Robin's there to guide us and to clear that energy and to clear that block and to just support us. So thank you, Robin. So I get the confirmation, and I'm always someone that gets the confirmation. So this is it for me. She also allows us to connect with or focus on particular energies so we can understand them more. So it's deep for me today. If you are studying a spiritual subject at this time, call on Lady Venus to help you. So that is what I will be doing. Extended message, hearing high-pitched noises all the time, seeing flickers of light, which is what I saw, and having a sense that beings are visiting you in your sleep are all signs of receiving downloads from heaven. That is what I was talking to with Robin. And I'm like, what the heck? So whenever this is happening, spend more time in contemplation so that you can ask the universe what they really need to know. Sorry, what you really need to know. And that's what I say, what I need to know. This card also represents downloads of information being received by your mind. Know that the universe sees you as capable of holding soul-centered information that will help you and others reach a new level of understanding. So I didn't kind of read that. I laughed because I read it once when I pulled it. I read the card before I like say it out loud on camera. And I'm like, you cannot make this stuff up. Like, you just can't make it up. It's just absolutely amazing. Robin says, perfect on point as always. Yes. Got to run, love you. Yeah, I'm going to go too. Got all the signs, can't remember consciously. Ah, perfect. So that is it for this episode of my spiritual journal. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. Robin, I love you. Karen, I love you. I just appreciate you guys so much. So if you don't have the Soul Legacy Journal, it will be on Amazon. I'm waiting for them to review it. This spiral bound is going to be on Lulu. I haven't put it up yet. I wanted to see what it was like for me, and I might get my guy to do the interior, so it's slightly different than just the blank pages. But it will be a smaller version, will be on Amazon of lined and blank, and it's just such a beautiful process. I love you. So thank you again. I will leave the masterclass link to the live masterclass at the end of the month. And I have a free chapter of my book. It's called Spiritual YouTubers from Scratch, a soul guided influencer's compass to leveraging your light work and lifestyle on YouTube. So grab that if you haven't already. Again, I will leave it in the cards and in the description my spiritual vision board challenge. And this is part of the follow-up from that 7-day challenge so that I can hold you accountable for launching, leading, and leaving your soul legacy with ease, grace, and flow. So big love. I shall see you on the next video.